Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched The Magicians. The episode was called Divine Elimination, and I was fairly sure that it could be one of two things. One, we could have a lot of bathroom humor, or we could have a lot of double entendre and sexual innuendo. Actually, we have both. There was one part that I thought could have been used for the D Club. Quentin, he starts talking about how when you jack off alone, there's not really much pleasure in it, but when you have three dicks together, then it's three people having sex. And what he's trying to do, he's making this analogy to first year spell that they're going to be using against the beast. And then Elliot says, "You're telling me that we're going into a suicide mission against the beast using a first year spell? Oh, hurrah!" I mean, he's really sarcastic about it like he usually is, but self-deprecating humor. Gotta love it. But what happens is they drink that elixir. It's not the thrones that were cursed. It was the elixir that was jacking up their brains. And of course, Marjorie drinks it, and I said Mallory, sorry, not Marjorie. Mallory drinks it. Alice drinks it. Quentin drinks it. And Elliot was the first one that actually imbibed. So they're all paranoid and out to kill each other. And Penny was the only one who didn't imbibe. So he's perfectly in his right mind. So he goes over to Mal and he says, Mal. Of course, Mal already knew what was going on. She was getting an antidote. And unfortunately, they all released their Keiko demons. But this episode's really good. And I felt really sad. While Jules was gone, her friend was petitioning Renard the Fox. I thought, oh, this is not going to end well. And no, it didn't. Because it was so just chilling and disturbing and uncomfortable to see Renard just toy with her and deprecate her and continually put her down and patronize her and make her feel completely incompetent, even though her wards were something of an art when she created them. And what he does to Cupcake, her familiar, as an animal lover, I almost had to turn my head. I couldn't. No, I thought, I've seen some shocking things, and I can't. Seeing an animal get hurt in any way, shape, or form, I really, I don't tolerate it well. Human being or animal, no. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But, yeah, it was extremely interesting to see just how sadistic. Well, we already knew, but it just proved that he was so sinister and just evil incarnate that he would just drag out her torture to no end. And it was foreboding and ominous and really dark. This was a darker episode, even though it did have its funnier moments with Ember and the wellspring. That's the other reason why it was called the Divine Elimination. And Quentin's comment to that was just brilliant. It was so comical. I really enjoyed this one. It was really good. And it took a lot from the second and third book, especially with what happens to Alice. And I had a feeling. I thought, oh no. I usually don't talk to my television, but I was yelling. And even though I knew what was going to happen because I've read the books, but I thought, yeah, they're getting more into the second and third books, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not going to say what happens, because if I do, it'll be a huge spoiler alert, but just seeing the characters mature over time and it's a coming of age story, and it's about how we all evolve over time and become better, or we hope we do. But with great power comes great responsibility, as we've often heard. And there's a lot of truth to that. And of course, the same is said in the Bible: when much is given, much is expected. And to the one which more talents are bestowed, even more is required. And I thought, oh, yeah. There is so much truth to those three statements, and they're just their axioms they speak volumes, and I really don't need to say that much more about this episode. It's comprised of that, and also Penny. Oh, I felt for Penny. I felt so bad for him when they're in that fight. The chains are broken from his hands, and then he has no control anymore. I thought, oh, come on, he just got those. Ugh. I'm sorry, her name's not Mal. What am I talking about? Her name's Margot. I'll get Margot's name right. I mean, it's like Marjorie. I was closer when I said Marjorie, so it's I'm going to be able to remember her name now because I'm going to do a mnemonic device. It's Margarine. Margot, Margarine, Margarine. Yeah, sorry. I know that sounds dumb, but that's the only way I'm going to memorize her name now. And the other characters have easier names. Her name, I'm not sure why it was tripping me up, but I love what she says. I'm mother effing queen. I thought, oh, all of a sudden it became like Homestuck. But anyway, lots of cursing. But it was a very revealing episode due to just the foreshadow. I thought the foreshadowing was really well done with the cat and Renard, and I was hoping that we would never see Renard again. But what happens to Martin is rather underwhelming, but it's still satisfying nonetheless because you love to hate him. And it's interesting because he is a villain that you have some sympathy toward, but not really that much because he's a murderous bastard. I'm not sure who was worse, Renard or Martin. I don't think you can even. Yeah, they're both pretty sinister, but that's all I have to say about this one. Other than just I love Elliot being his usual suave kind of posh self, and it's so funny. I adore it when he says, "We're royalty. We should at least act regal for once." I thought, yeah, you know what? Touché. You're absolutely right. But then you just had to go and drink something that really altered your intuition and your inhibitions, and they were just thrown out the window, and you were subject to your reptilian brain. Good on you. It wasn't his fault, but I like to think that the poison was probably due to some trickery that was going on. There was somebody sabotaging. I'm not sure who. Yeah, it's hard to say who could have done that or who was responsible, but there's something going on, and it's not the first time regicide has happened, so that's a mystery, and that's kind of a plot hole in this episode too. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It was absolutely spectacular. So that's all I have to say. And until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, Tootsie.